He shot me up with, a $10 bag, like you said, a few grains, and it just stopped my heart. I overdosed immediately.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
Yeah,
first time?
first time.
Wow.
And, at the time there was no innocent bystander laws, so he was not protected. And so he was freaked out about calling 911. He ultimately ended up, but it took a while. And I didn't wake up. I didn't wake up until 4 or 5 days later.
Welcome back to the Hopeaholics Podcast. I'm your girl, Natalie Eva Marie.
And I'm Chad Carlson, and you're listening to the #1 addiction and mental health podcast.
And you guys, if you or a loved one is struggling, make sure you head to askevamarie.com or chaddict.com and chat with one of our AI companions 24/7.
Or text the number right here on the screen.
Together, we are breaking the stigma around addiction and mental health.
And fighting the fentanyl epidemic.
Now, let's get into the episode.
Well, David,
Hello.
welcome to the Hopeaholics Podcast.
Yes.
You're welcome. Thank you. for
Yeah.
having me.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for driving.
In the LA traffic.
For sure. Coming all the way from Malibu that's a
I know the drive, man. That 405 is not always the best.
Well, the drive here was awesome. The drive home, I think, might be a little
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah, right.
Stop by the health club or do something fun. No, not here. Maybe hit a meeting.
What health
Yeah.
club?
I like LA Fitness or 24, and I
Yeah.
also
Oh, nice.
belong to Crunch. So
Crunch.
there's 3. Yeah, there's a big. Our clients go to. Used to be called LA Fitness, Athletic Club. Now it's called Crunch. They converted.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a nice big one. It's like full of people that came through Harmony,
Oh, okay.
so you can't go in there without getting inundated with, success stories. And
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
do you have that too?
We have our own gym.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
At home or here?
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in the building.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
We can show you after.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Take you on a little quick tour of the PHP IOP building.
Okay.
So you're with which treatment center are you with?
Harmony Place in Woodland Hills.
Harmony Place in Woodland Hills. That's literally where Donna was living when I met her. My wife lived
you
in
serious?
Woodland. Yeah. She lived in Woodland Hills. There's like this exit where it's like Woodland Hills on this side and Calabasas on this. You know where the
Right.
Commons are?
Yes.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
That's where my wife lived at the Commons, basically.
It's a beautiful area.
Yeah. She grew up in Agora Hills.
Okay.
So Harmony Place, huh?
Yes.
How long you guys been around?
Jeff Schwartz, LCSW, is the founder, and he bought it from an existing company called Harmony Place, which was a women's treatment center at that time,
Okay.
14 years ago.
14 years
Yeah.
ago.
So, actually, it's 10 years ago. I'm sorry. So hopefully you can cut
I will leave it. It's cool. 14.
somewhere between 10 and 14 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
Perfect. And how long have you been there?
I've been there over 3 years now.
Nice.
And when he hired me, the job description was clinical director of operations. And when you looked at the job description, it was 2 jobs in one.
Right.
So all my friends pointed that out, that, this is a 2-for-1 type job.
Yeah.
And so, I joked about that. But when I got in there, having 2 houses within half a mile,
Uh-huh.
12 beds apiece, plus an IOP PHP, plus the administration and the insurance and all that, I think no matter what your title is, you're going to have 2 or 3 jobs at the same time.
I agree.
Yeah. It's just all hands on.
Yeah, we wear many hats
Yeah.
in this industry,
That's right.
and like my thing is if you're going to get in this industry, you're not really getting into it for you have a purpose. There's a reason. Like I have a passion for this.
Me too.
So like I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever I need to do to number one, to make sure that the client is care is amazing
Mhm.
and that they're successful to the best of my ability. They've got to do their part of
Yeah.
being successful. But like then the other part is like, I just want to like help people.
Right.
Like I just want to help people.
especially people with with the disease of alcoholism and substance use disorders, because, they're often underserved and
Mm-hmm.
underappreciated and vulnerable, and their voice is, kept
Not
silent.
heard. Yeah. And
And
stigmatized.
mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, that's why we started this, the Hopeaholics podcast. So that our voices will be heard.
That's
We won't be silenced. And it's crazy because, the main reason why this podcast started is because I lost my son-in-law to fentanyl poisoning on 9/11 of 2022, and we've been calling it fentanyl poisoning basically ever since he died, because there's no safe dose of illicit fentanyl. And today, which, I mean, I don't want to take full credit or responsibility for, but I am proud that I don't care what news channel you turn on or what your political view is, they are all starting to use the word fentanyl poisoning and not fentanyl overdoses.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just poison.
It's
How you look at it.
it's poison.
Yeah.
There's no safe dose of illicit fentanyl. Now, fentanyl from the pharmacy and from the doctor, the
Mhm.
legal fentanyl has an overdose. It has a schedule of how much you can take, but this illicit fentanyl, 2 grains of salt will kill one of us.
Yeah, I mean, when you do your searches for new patients coming in, and I have all my techs wear gloves. So
Yep.
you just never know.
You never know.
That's what's scary about it.
Yeah, and like we were talking earlier with the sober livings,
Mm-hmm.
it could wipe out the whole batch.
I know.
It can.
It really can.
It actually can.
And when I got clean in 1996, I mean, there really wasn't fentanyl, like illicit fentanyl.
No.
And
Fentanyl patches back then, but
Yeah.
not illicit fentanyl.
right.
And you're let's talk about
Yeah,
that,
let's
because
go back.
I'd rather go back. I like
Your success story.
you are
Thank you.
like an amazing
For
success
real.
story too, because I also want to point out that David is an LCSW.
Right.
So
Big
before
dog.
a big dog,
Big dog.
he's a master's level therapist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's got a recovery story.
And was a dope fiend.
That's right.
Like, that's what I love, is that exactly what Chad was saying when you got here before we got on the mic, is like, it's so important, I think, it's not important because there's really amazing therapists that are fantastic at their job and
Right.
do such a good job within the treatment facilities. However, I would want to see you, because you know where I'm coming from. I feel like, and that could be naive from my own personal thinking, but I think it also is a really good story to let the one that is still suffering, like, holy shit, I can totally flip my life on a dime.
I mean, I do have some appointments available if you would.
She did just start therapy, so
And I just believe that.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you, man,
Yep. Born and raised.
born and raised, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah, actually, early youth was Las Vegas in the 80s. So I moved to Chicago in 8th grade.
Okay.
And that's where, it's when you transition and move to a completely different community and area of the country, you really have to have thick skin and be open-minded to new friendships and experiences. And 8th grade is, formative years.
Totally.
It was difficult.
Mhm.
I did the best that I could. I was not into drugs at that point. I think my first addiction, if I look at it, was my first girlfriend. And her name was Sue Park, and we were together for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she stuck through my addiction, but I was obsessed, and in a very unhealthy, jealous way, which reminded me a lot today of my addiction to drugs and alcohol. So codependency and being navigating the intensity of an intimate relationship has been very difficult for me as well. And so I think to silence some of the pain that I was going through with that, I started smoking weed in high school when I was 15. And somebody brought over Sergeant Pepper's and some weed, and we put in the Beatles, and I got high for the first time, and I just wanted that every day for the rest of my life.
I mean, I love hearing that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because it was like, that's exactly what happened to me with when I did my first line of methamphetamine.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that for the rest of my life
Mm-hmm.
because I finally, for the very first time ever that I could ever remember, felt okay.
Yeah, comfortable in my own skin and like this like
Everything is fine.
yeah, it's like
Everything is
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
right.
Like, unless you've ever had that experience, people don't understand
Yeah.
that experience.
Yeah.
But like, I never felt okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is what everybody else feels like.
And I never knew I didn't feel okay until
Oh.
I compared it to that first high.
Yeah.
And like you said, it was like the fourth dimension. Like we
Mhm.
just felt alive and
Mhm.
and hope and just like everything was going to be okay. Boy, were we misdirected.
It's it's the big lie, man.
Yeah.
It's it's the big lie. It's the other reason why our voice is so important is because that is a lie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we continue to chase it to the bitter end,
Mhm.
which gets a lot of us killed
Mm-hmm.
and just takes away our family and everything that was ever good about us or our life.
Yeah.
Strips us of everything.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have an older brother and an older sister
Okay.
who was adopted.
Okay.
I'm the middle, and my dad remarried and had Eric and Tony. Eric's 30 now, and my
Okay.
sister is 29. And so when I got sober in 96, they were little guys.
Oh wow.
And so I got
Okay.
to be a big brother to them, which
Yeah.
was awesome.
That's awesome. So you're coming up on 30 years, right?
29 December 12th,
29.
Wow. Oh.
Wow.
12/12/96.
That's crazy.
Well,
I would have had I not had all these relapses in between. I walked into my very first meeting of Narcotics Anonymous on December 28th of 1996.
Okay. So right at the same time.
So we were having a bad time at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a terrible time.
So what was like high school and your using like
Mhm.
after that first one? Like was that it? Did you go?
I went, yeah, because I also had a job in a warehouse, and it turns out the guy who managed the warehouse was a dealer. And so ultimately, he got to a place where he fronted me like 2 pounds a week, and I would sell it to. By the time I was done with high school, I had gone to 4 high schools just because we
Mhm.
moved. But I was always this clean cut, smart, intellectual, like teacher's pet type.
Sure.
So I had a double life. And so behind the scenes, I was using and selling. And part of selling is like you hang out with unsavory characters.
Totally.
So yeah, they're coming to buy, but they're also coming to trade. And so there's all kinds of drugs involved that I never would have been exposed to otherwise. And so that's how it sort of ramped up from there. And really, I didn't get into that type of hard life until after high school.
Okay.
And
So you kept it together in high school with like just doing the double life, going to school, doing good in academics.
and good in academics, but I was also a ticket broker. So I had tickets to
Oh
like
my
the
God,
Bulls back in the
hilarious.
90s and
Yes.
first rows to every
Huge.
concert there was,
Amazing. And then you're also selling weed.
selling weed.
And then you also were in a relationship that was absolutely not healthy.
Correct. All
Okay.
that stuff. And
Feeding all the addictions all at once.
yeah, and I'm living in the basement, and above me is, my dad, his wife, and these two little kids.
Sure.
So the self-centeredness, which came into play early, was just full-fledged denial at that time
Sure.
because it was all about me.
Of course.
And I mean, I tried everything in high school: cocaine, acid, mushrooms, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not really opiates, Xanax. And it really wasn't until after high school and then into my like 20s that I started to rob drugstores.
Oh wow.
We saw a movie called Drugstore Cowboy with
Yeah.
Matt Dillon.
That's a good movie.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
And I was high as hell on weed, and we just said, let's go do that.
Shut up.
Yeah. So instead of like guns, the computer just came out, and Windows, like literally just came out. The first version of Windows was called Windows 95.
Yeah.
So we went on it, and we just put some prescription on it, and like a prescription. And then again, with this double life, clean cut looking character, I went in and filled the drug, and it worked.
Shut.
Yeah. So I started to inject
You're a
morphine.
smart one.
I mean, I had support.
Because there is no way. Like, if I went on Windows 95 and tried to do a prescription, my ass walking in would be like, girl, turn around.
Yeah.
This is fraud.
Right. Well,
I looked in 1995. I looked extremely suspicious.
oh shit.
Yeah, I wasn't that clean cut guy.
Yeah.
I looked like trouble.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Well, you look pretty clean cut now, man.
Thanks.
Recovery's
Yeah, it's been
Come a long way.
yeah, it's been good on you, man.
yeah. Thanks.
And you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go ahead, you start the prescription, kind of get down.
Yeah. So like you, my using buddy, his dad was a doctor, physician.
Oh,
Ooh.
And so he was the one that had the physician's desk reference and knew how to like crack the DEA code. And so he was the mastermind behind
Okay.
the prescription. And I was the clean cut guy that would fill it. That was the partnership from hell. Yeah, or as it turns out.
yeah.
And then there's a lot of people in the backseat that just want to get high with your shit. There's always those guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They don't contribute anything.
Yeah.
They just want to hang out. And stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully they can at least contribute like some fun
Yeah.
or something, some personality. What is that? Is that me?
No, that's my computer.
Oh, your computer's ringing.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Um,
Sorry.
I mean, this is kind of funny, just like because you look at you
Yeah.
now, especially today.
Yeah.
You're even more clean cut, and I would look at you and be like, this dude never.
Fuck no. Annie's the clinical director. Like, boy, you're lying. Like, no way.
It was brutal, and it just goes on.
Right?
And
What
so
did
you went in there for liquid morphine.
They were actually pills.
Oh,
you would heat them up like.
Oh, you would heat them up.
Yeah. So they dissolved in water after you had to heat them up. So it was like morphine, Dilaudid, and those were the two big ones. Now we got hooked, relatively quickly,
Yeah.
densely and powerfully. And like I said, we had people that were hanging on just to get high with us.
Yeah.
I had a buddy named Corey who was sort of the test subject. So whenever we got a new prescription, we would shoot him up first to make sure, like, see what exactly it does. Yeah,
That's fucked.
yeah, yeah. It was-
Test.
and then I had another
subject.
guy that was like, he was like better looking than me, so he brought in the girl, and like that was his part. His
Yeah, right.
contribution to the table. But
How old were you at this time?
19 or 20.
Did you go to college or no?
Yes, I was in junior college at
Okay.
that time, but I quickly failed out when my addiction ramped. At that time, it was all these opiates, but also cocaine. And the cocaine is really what sort of where I just had to drop out, like that obsession
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
constantly wanting to use. You don't necessarily have that with opiates, but with cocaine, like
That
that's
was
all
my
I thought
target
about.
voice.
Okay, so you get it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't think about anything else.
Nothing else.
Yeah. So
Now I recall you saying out there
yeah,
the word crack.
Yeah.
Crack came in your life at some point.
Heroin.
so
I don't want to jump. I don't want to jump too fast, but like when you talk about cocaine and the need to continue to use that crack is still to this day cocaine on fucking steroids.
right. So there's sort of two different chapters of the same story. And the first chapter are pharmaceutical opiates
Okay.
and cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
After 36 attempts at getting a controlled substance illegally, and I know that
Ooh.
because that was the charge, that game was over. And so the second chapter in the same book is heroin and crack.
Mm.
So it was trying to mimic what I was doing, on the legal side, on the streets. And in Chicago, it was at the time one of the biggest open drug markets in the country.
Yeah, and crack at this time was still an epidemic.
Yes, it was 90s, so it sort of was on a down.
On a down.
But anytime you go and buy heroin in Chicago, like the guy sells crack as well.
Mm.
And, I like to do the combo. I mean, opiates was my drug of choice, but, you add a little crack to it, and what could be so, I mean, that's a good day.
Mhm.
It's a good day at the office. Right?
It really is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I didn't do crack, but like I've got a combo. That's
Yeah.
a good day.
That's a good day
You know.
until it isn't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And ultimately the wheels fell off. So the first time that I used heroin was my birthday. It was October 2nd, 1993. It was my 21st birthday.
Mm.
and I had dinner with my dad. I had some alcohol on board. I went to my buddy's house, the guy I was talking about earlier, and he shot me up with, a $10 bag, like you said, the few grains, and it just stopped my heart. I overdosed immediately.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
Yeah,
first time?
first time.
Wow.
And at the time there was no like innocent bystander laws, so he was not protected, and so he was freaked out about calling 911. He ultimately ended up, but it took a while, and I didn't wake up. I didn't wake up until 4 or 5 days later.
Shut up.
Yeah, so I almost didn't make it to adulthood. I was in a coma, and
This episode is brought to you by Wolfpack Bags. This gear is meant for anybody gym, lifestyle, to anybody that's on the move. I mean, I like to say that us here and everybody that tunes in, we're not average. We're always a wolf. They have all the goods that you need, especially for anybody that is looking for a bag to carry their meal prep, a lunch pail, anything like that. They have you covered. So once again, go to wolfpack.com, use the code Hopeaholics, save 10%, and join the pack.
it was devastating. And when I did wake up, and I got my walking papers, it was one of those things where medical science, like medical physicians and science and all these technology and machines that offered life support and brought me back to life, were beautiful and wonderful and only in America. But my discharge paperwork didn't say anything about this incomprehensible, this
Oh, right.
progressive nature of our disease that wants to see me dead.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't given any kind of prescription to AA or to treatment. And so I went about went about roaming around the cabin, and ended up, I think, using heroin that night or the next day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and started a 2-year run of that nonsense. And finally, I had a '93 Formula at the time, which is like a Trans Am, and I would drive it to
Oh, yeah. I remember
yeah,
those. Yeah.
cool car.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool car.
Yeah, I would like park, and it was like my mobile office. I would get high and hang out and then drive home, and often nod and smash into something and still make it home. And finally the car just sort of, the radiator blew out from the hood. And so there was this chemical explosion that even the dealers in the area ran from. So they were like, they sell drugs and participate in gang violence, but apparently they can't handle, shot radiators, because they were running like little kids when they saw this chemical going up in the air. But anyway, the car never drove again, and so then I used that as my satellite office, and would now take the bus from home to the west side and get my stuff, sit in my car, and then lock it back up and take the bus again. And finally, parts of the car would, become missing: the tires, the wheels, everything, the stereo, and finally the car disappeared as well. And so,
You showed up one day to go, you know, get get your fucking go get in your office,
yeah,
and it wasn't there.
gone. Yeah, the bill wasn't though. Yeah, I still had to pay for the thing. Man, so that's just part of it, And finally, my dad sat me down and said, "This is this is a mess, and I'm trying to raise this small family, and like we love you so much, and you've changed so much, and we don't even know what to do." And my mom lived out here. My dad lived in Chicago. They were still friends, even though divorced for 20 years. And
Yeah.
she worked for a brain surgeon in
Wow.
Beverly Hills, whose wife was in AA. So she had the courage of asking her employer, her boss, to speak with his wife,
Well,
which, there's a lot of people outside of the rooms that I think have helped me along the way.
sure.
That when I give AA talks and NA talks, I often forget about those people because I want to talk about God and my sponsor and the people in the rooms. But, looking back, that took a lot of courage for my mom to do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because you say to your boss, like, my son's a heroin addict, who knows what's going to follow
And
that.
especially in
Yeah.
in the 90s. I mean, even today, and that's the part that still baffles me, and
Yeah.
why our voice and you being here and us being here and doing what we're doing today
Yeah.
is so important, because um, first off, the fact that back then somebody knew about AA is incredible, and not like that's a God
That
thing.
was a God thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It gets a little deeper. So she found me a place called Claire in Santa Monica, which is a nonprofit.
yeah,
And so we called Claire, she called Claire, and they were ready for me for aftercare, but not the detox res part.
Mm.
And so they referred us to Acton, which at the time was a county-funded drug and alcohol treatment center. And so that's ultimately where I ended up going. I flew from Chicago. Um, I, I sold the airline ticket, to get something a little cheaper that allowed me to get a $10 bag for the way, and I finally made it. And I got to Acton, and Acton's pretty hardcore. It was an internment camp, and at the end of World War II, to keep the Japanese Americans safe, and it was converted to a rehab after that. So it's very humble. It's very humble, in terms of, there's zero luxury,
Mhm.
and and that's where I was introduced to the 12 steps. I get to the first meeting that I've ever been to, and it was a candlelight, and I had been there one day, and so I haven't met anybody. So my first exposure to rehab and my first exposure to AA at the time was, a meeting in the dark. And so all I heard were people's voices, and I swear to God, it mimicked the Beatles in my first hit of weed, because something popped immediately, where I felt exactly like I did the first time I used, like something that was said, or just the collective experience of like raw
Yeah.
honesty. It got me to that same place of like, wow, I want to chase this for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Yeah, I did it. And then they turned on the lights, and I'm like, holy shit, I got to recover with these guys, because they were like
Yeah.
big,
Yeah.
right out of prison, and tattoos everywhere. But yeah, I mean, I was there for 4 months, and they saved my life.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And so after that, I went to Claire for sober living. And ultimately, my job before Harmony Place was being the chief clinical officer at Claire Matrix, the place that I went to
Wow.
aftercare.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got to run the ship for a while.
That's even crazier.
Yeah.
You ran the ship where you actually went and docked.
Yes. And it was a beautiful
Damn.
opportunity.
it's called
Promise.
Claire Matrix.
Well, it was called Claire Foundation.
That's what I know it is.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then they merged with another group
With
called
the
Matrix.
I know Matrix.
Yeah, that model.
Yeah, the Matrix model.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they married.
Okay.
So basically, Claire bought out Matrix.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I've been around that long.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it worked really well for cocaine addiction at the time.
Yeah.
The marriage didn't take off the way that they were hoping, and I was post-marriage.
Okay.
But I also worked at Hazelden when they bought Betty Ford. And
Yeah.
so I've been through some of these like weird,
Mer-
merges and conversions, and
Sure.
yeah, it's tough. And this one, everyone knows Claire as Claire Foundation.
Yeah.
So I think now they are kind of pulling back and rebranding as Claire Matrix, I mean Claire Foundation again. But in any event, I did my last training, this this nursing school at Western University asked me to do a training on ASAM
Mm.
and biopsychosocials.
Yeah.
And so I did it in the room that I lived at Claire.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was like a full circle experience for me.
For
And
sure.
it was such a gift to be a part of it. And I still am as a consultant. I hang out with the CEO once in a while, and we shoot ideas back and forth.
Wow, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that was a gift, and that was God.
So when you went in 96 and you went to um your first round of treatment, you stayed sober, never relapsed.
No, I stayed. I did.
Wow.
I did Acton, and I did Claire, and then a guy that I met at Acton that also came to Claire got his own apartment in Venice, and so I decided, because he then got a girlfriend and he was never there. So I said, "Hey, why don't you come in, take over half the rent? I'll pay the other half," and I'm never there. So I ended up moving to Venice. They ended up, and I was going to tons of meetings
Hmm.
and doing my best to work the program. But what I found out later is I was showing up, but I was not working the
Oh,
program.
sure. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's a big difference.
Big. Huge.
Yeah, one is like you're a spectator, and one is you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he ended up coming back because they broke up. He used crack almost immediately, and so I think I lasted 2 days in that arrangement before I was shooting heroin again.
Oh shit.
And I had never used heroin here, so I went from like the
So
kind of
yeah, so you didn't know about the black tar heroin.
right until that day.
Yeah.
And so then there was a 2-month experience that brought me back into sober living. But yeah, that was a hardcore relapse that again almost killed me.
Hmm.
But when I got to that sober living, uh, another God thing, I don't even know the name of it. It might not have even been a sober living, but I ended up at some house and they ran out of beds. So they got these cushions from the garage and stuck them on the floor. and that was where I stayed.
Oh, wow.
And there was a guy that was next to me, and he basically said, "You have to go." Because at the time, I was invited back to Chicago for Christmas and the holidays, but I was supposed to have a year clean, and I had effed it up after 10 months and was fresh off the streets and psychotic and everything else. And so everyone at the sober living was saying, "You really shouldn't go home right now."
Mhm.
And the guy that I was sleeping next to said, if you're sober today and you have a family that loves you, they're not going to judge you on yesterday. They're judging you on right here, right now. And that's what you should do. We should go. And so I woke up the next morning and he wasn't even there. And so I don't know if that was an angel or if there was a real person there. But in any event, I took the ticket and I went home. And so that is my new sober date, the 12/12/96. And so I walk into my dad's house, and my little sister and brother are there to greet me, and they weren't judging me on, having 10 months or 10 days, and that's where my sobriety really got real when I returned home. And I would go to NA meetings and AA meetings like my life depended on it. Some days I would spend the whole day at the club
Wow.
because I was 23 and I didn't know my head from my ass. And some days I just needed to hear from you. And like anytime I said I've been thinking, they would just shut me down. Like they didn't give a shit about what I was thinking. They're looking at what am I doing to stay sober today?
Right.
And I needed that. I grew up in AA and NA in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and now I'm 52.
Wow.
So I've been here for a minute. I'm actually 53. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. I used to exaggerate up.
It's
Now I exaggerate down.
yeah, well, it's fine because we thought you were 42, so no
Okay.
Yeah.
no biggie.
I'll take it.
The day you got sober, I was incarcerated at Theo Lacey Facility for Men in
Where's that?
it's in Orange, California.
Okay.
I think it's Orange.
Okay.
Fighting a case trying to anyways, I ended up getting treatment. So we basically were in treatment at the same time.
I love that. In prison or in jail or out?
Out. I got out.
Okay.
And I got released to treatment.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And did it stick?
No.
Okay.
For
Yeah, a little
for
bit.
3 years.
Okay.
And then had a relapse, and then I came back and stayed for 9.
Okay.
Had a relapse.
Ouch.
That one was painful.
Yes.
That one took me 5 years to get back, fully back, and a shitload of new charges.
Oh, shit.
But now he's back.
But I'm back.
Back.
Yeah.
Stronger than ever.
Ever.
And,
Has
Dove in
eaten
head
half.
first.
okay.
Eaten-
God's in charge.
Okay.
Not Chad anymore.
Okay. It's a big
You know?
difference, isn't it?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge difference. I mean, I relapsed as an owner of a treatment center.
Okay.
It was terrible and embarrassing and a lot of shame and guilt, and got arrested. And
When was that?
that was between 2012 and 2016.
You have to be careful with sharing stories like that to me because I am a therapist, and so we can turn this around easily.
Oh,
When this becomes like,
oh, you're gonna start asking me questions
Yeah.
now.
yeah, I just have to be
Uh,
careful with that.
Yeah, I'll turn it right back over to you now. I want to talk about just for a second because you got clean off of heroin
Yeah.
before Suboxone or buprenorphine even existed.
Thank God.
Can we
Right.
talk? Can we? Thank God for
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
But can we talk about what a real heroin detox felt like?
Yeah.
Can you describe a little bit to the audience about like what it really means to come off of heroin?
Yeah. And there's one other parallel that I think is important here because when you look at a higher power intervening, talk about right place, right time because Oxys also came out in
Oh shit, that's
1996.
right.
Yeah,
And so I missed the whole Oxy.
You're right.
Yeah.
which caused everything
Oh my
that's
God.
even still going on today is
Right.
the insanity of
Yes.
the fentanyl crisis is
Was sort of
is,
where I
is,
was at.
is born out of the Oxycontin. And I was working in treatment during the height of the Oxy era,
Yeah.
and it was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, the detox.
Yeah. So, again, I had nothing to compare it to because I had never been to treatment before.
Yeah.
And It was a pretty standard protocol. A lot of like Valium and clonidine, lowering the blood pressure and like sleeping it off. But I mean, they they hit you hard for like 4 or 5 or 6 days. You have symptoms similar to the flu, but they basically just knock you out. And if
Sure,
you're
sleep
lucky,
it off.
yeah, sleep it off. And if you're lucky, you like do the zombie walk to the like the group room and watch some shitty TV and eat some applesauce.
Yeah.
But basically, you were a patient of the ward, and it was a medical solution
Yeah.
to a much bigger problem. But withdrawal and detox is managed medically.
Yeah.
In terms of long-term medication-assisted treatment, that was really not available at the time, only through methadone,
Yeah.
and depressants were still on the scene. But in terms of there were no anti-cravings, there was no Suboxone. It was either methadone or abstinence.
Yeah.
And so thankfully, I was never turned on to methadone. And I'm so grateful to be in abstinence-based sobriety, like this 420 friendly stuff, this Suboxone, like it does work for people. And I have no opinion on it for other people, but for myself, it's just something that I'm very grateful that I didn't have to take because, in my opinion, at least for me, that would have just prolonged what was already there. And really, it's a spiritual, mental, physical disease. And, I see people not on the correct dose
Mm.
and nodding out and group and not really participating in their own life, still looking like and acting like they're in active addiction. And it's really sad to see. That's really sad to see because what's the next chapter in that book? Like, even getting off of that stuff over time is
It's
going to be
it
really
it's
difficult.
it's not fun either.
Yeah.
It's not I do that all the time.
Yeah.
We watch we have to I get people on maintenance coming in to get off of maintenance,
Yeah.
and it's like we're starting over.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're starting over. And I'm with you. I'm with you for myself.
Hmm.
I'm 100% at 10%. I love abstinence-based recovery
Hmm.
because I am a true believer that alcoholics got it right a long time ago. Doctors, scientists, you can do all the research you want, but me,
Hmm.
I have a spiritual malady.
That's right.
Like I have a hole in the size of my chest that I want that only God can fill.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But what I want to do is put everything else in there to try to make it go away, and it doesn't work. And until I work a program on a daily basis,
Yeah.
because I can't do today on yesterday's. And that's what the difference is. If you want to know what the difference is in my recovery this time, is that not a day goes by. I don't leave my house until I've done my work.
Love that.
And that was the commitment that I make. See, it makes me want to cry because like I hurt so many people.
Hmm.
And my rock bottom, my emotional rock bottom was my wife. Um, I'm sitting there in rehab, coming out of a meth-induced psychosis, and she's like, I don't think I'm gonna stay. And I was sitting there alone, and I was like, I've done this to another human being. Like I've ruined another human being. And I said, God, I just don't want to hurt people anymore
Hmm.
because the pain that I feel when I hurt people is so severe that I just want to get loaded or die.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll do whatever it takes to not ever have to put another human being through that pain and misery again. And my solution was God in the 12 steps.
Love that. Did she stay?
She stayed.
Yes. Nice.
But I made the decision to get clean
Yeah.
way before she made the decision to stay.
Hmm.
Like,
Took some time.
it took time.
Yeah.
She didn't just come rushing back, and I was working my program whether she stayed or didn't, you know?
I think something important to mention with that story is that there is the hole in the soul, like you mentioned, and God and AA and NA. and the 12 steps, doing the 12 steps, help to, mend it spiritually
Mhm.
for sure. But our conduct, even clean and even in 12-step recovery, can lead us to the same exact place.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with a scenario where, my girlfriend is questioning whether or not she wants to stay. And I feel so horrible of like hurting her and hurting myself in the process. Like the story, how you describe that is a situation that I'm feeling in the here and now. And that has nothing to do with my drug or
Mhm.
heroin use. It
Yeah.
has everything to do with, not keeping an eye on 6 and 7 and my character defects and
Yeah.
like praying for removal and like doing the hard work of like, this is not a man of integrity,
Resting on your laurels.
resting on your laurels and just thinking, whatever, letting your ego, take the driver's seat for a minute.
Sure.
And so that's, like you said, we can't rest on yesterday. That's a day at a time process, and we have to work just as hard today as we did the day we got here.
Yeah.
Or stuff creeps in there that you have to clean up,
Yep.
and it could be just as painful as our use.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, she'll tell you a story at 3 or 4 years
Mhm.
wanting to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And I was sober. And I had all the things that I thought were going to keep me sober and make me happy.
Okay. So,
But I wasn't working a solid. I mean, I was sober, but I was like white knuckling it, not checking in with my sponsor, not going to meetings, not sponsoring other women. So basically, like what you said, where I was a spectator,
yeah.
I
And
wasn't playing the game.
So what happened ultimately?
Started playing the game,
Nice.
and everything worked out just fine. But me playing the game also led to me getting a divorce.
Nice.
So like
Hard though.
very.
Yeah.
And like of course there's not I would say that I'm proud that there's nothing where I'm like embarrassed about the divorce from my old behaviors that could have crept up, but am I do I have to take accountability for allowing certain things to linger and not fully address to then why we are getting a divorce? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But am I sober? Yep. Am I still with my sponsor? Yes.
Nice.
Am I still okay? Definitely. And do I regret the decision? Not one bit.
Okay.
Even though I don't really necessarily like believe in divorce, even though I do believe in divorce, but it's just that's where it comes into like me now seeking therapy
Good.
from these two because grew up Catholic. My parents are still married after 53 years, so like that's I think the hard thing that I struggle with is that I failed, you know.
I mean, that's one way of looking at it, but you also saved yourself. It sounds
Sure.
like.
And him too,
Yeah.
because marriage is definitely something that is, I do believe that is sacred and is very much a intimate level amongst two people that share something that not the rest of the world get to see or witness, and it's amongst two people. I do believe that in them coming as one.
Hmm.
So it's totally we live one life, and that's it. We only get one run at this thing. So if I'm not fulfilled in that realm, nor is he, what are we doing?
Right.
You
So
know?
failed in one sense, but
Correct.
empowered and saved. And
100%. Because how many people don't have enough balls to actually move into action? And the same with addiction, though. You have to have a lot of balls to move. It's painful. It's horrible to be in such like depths of hell where like the easy way out is to kill ourselves.
yeah,
Is to say see ya. But no, we find a mustard seed, a little bit of glimmer of hope because we hear hopefully a story in a meeting or from somebody like your mother calling a friend to pick up the phone to talk to you and put something into our brain to think like, damn, maybe I can too. It's just the power of being able to open your mouth and speak to somebody else that is suffering.
you're right. It takes a ton of courage, and I think we've been silenced and disrespected so much in our life. So to finally ask for help is like
Mhm.
monumental.
Very difficult.
And so the CEO owner of Harmony Place and myself lead a meeting on Mondays called the Community,
Mm.
and it's all the patients that are in the house with us, whether it's 6 or 15. And the two of us host this meeting from 9:30 to 12. It's a 2.5 hour group with the
Wow.
owner and the clinical director. And we honor the new participants that have joined us and recognize the courage that it takes to pick up the phone. And we just check in with their stories. What brought you here? Like, what is the turning point that brought you to your knees? where picking up the phone sounded like a better idea than picking up your drug of choice,
Totally.
because that's pretty profound. Like,
Right?
how do you go from A to B? And so they share that story, over and over and over. And I think that's one thing that makes us unique, is that the CEO is so involved with patient care as well.
Mhm.
And the two of us are really invested in the process from beginning to end with patients. And I've worked at a lot of treatment centers. I am a person in recovery, and so I kind of set the standards of like how I wanted to be treated when I was in treatment.
100%.
Yeah. So it does take a lot of courage, and I appreciate that. I think we forget that.
I think that's like the pivotal thing on why sometimes in a, um what I think is forgotten about, but also what drew me and what attracted me to coming in and partnering with Chad and the Infinity Group and to having our treatment facilities, because he's the CEO and he's here and he's invested in to the treatment and the care of the patients and the clients that are coming through this door, as well as like staff. And to me, going to treatment and having my own experience and then wanting to do something in regard to not knowing what that capacity is, but obviously God knew,
Mm,
not me. Um, was really important because it's we're just like everybody else that's in that bed.
yeah.
So like we do the same thing, we host it's actually tonight, Tuesday night meetings. We do Recover Out Loud, and it's not a traditional like AA or NA meeting. It's very much open. Like our parents both hop onto the meeting because there's a lot of people that are hurting that lost loved ones to the disease, and they're looking for a spot to like either understand the disease or just be able to kind of feel like they're not alone. And then of course, like our treatment facilities can hop on if they would like to as well.
That's so cool.
Because we have to work this thing also, or else we'll fall off too, just like them. At one point in time, like yourself, you're a clinical director. Like for somebody to actually hear that on day 2 of them in detox, like, wait, this dude was a heroin addict and he came through this program, laid in one of these beds, and had to walk through like the sober living. And because you hear all the crazy nonsense too of like the complaining and all this, that, and the other.
Oh yeah.
But then to now hear that you're a clinical director and you run operations and things that at one point in time, yeah, right, like they would trust you with something like that,
Right, for
you
sure.
know? And if that's not God, I don't know what is, because that is taking somebody and completely changing not only the way that they think, but allowing them to achieve something of greatness and of some type of purpose and value, and to pour into others as opposed to continuously take.
Well said. I think for people like us that work in treatment, it puts an extra layer of emphasis on our own personal program, because not
100%.
only are we fighting, for our lives, in terms of like staying away from our drug of choice, but to stay like arm's length away from the trauma and the stories and the devastation that we see and hear on a daily, like that's like an extra level of protection.
Mhm.
So going to therapy, or doubling up on your
Mhm.
meetings, or doing EMDR, or whatever that might be, taking time off for yourself, it's just like very important for people like us that are in the trenches,
Yeah.
pretty regularly.
Yeah. It's self-care is of utmost important because like the only time like burnout in this industry exists is when you're not taking care of
Yeah.
yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's just
So
a
true.
fact, right? So we gotta make sure that we take care of ourselves because like we are hearing the worst of the worst stuff happening on a daily basis. It's like, yeah, you know, I hear a lot of success stories and that's what keeps me going.
Right.
But I hear a lot of failures. I hear death. I hear, prison terms. And lots of stuff that you don't want people to have to go through. But that's this disease. If we don't treat this disease,
Yeah.
the end results are always the same:
Mhm.
Right.
jails, institutions, or death.
That's right. And I
You
don't
know,
think a medication is going to help that.
I don't think so
It takes
either.
more footwork.
no, and it doesn't. But I also there is I love I so the 12 steps, recovery, amazing. There are more things that we can do to get healthier. And therapy is one of them. I had to do EMDR. So if you want to go ask me a couple I mean, I'm not going to have you ask me. I'm going to ask myself some and pretend like you asked me.
Okay.
But part of my relapse was that I hadn't worked on trauma.
Right.
You know, I had been molested when I was like between 8 and 10,
Me too.
and
Hmm.
I never worked on it.
Yeah.
You know, I just stuffed it in like, nah, I'm okay. But somehow it still fucks you up.
It fucks you up and it penetrates every relationship that you're in.
Yeah.
At least that's my experience.
Yeah. So EMDR was great, and then continued therapy for. I finally found a therapist that I could do the work with. I had this because I was molested by a man. I could never see a male therapist. It was like just like that was my thing. I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm only gonna see a female therapist.
Right.
Well, you know what? I can manipulate female therapists.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell them what they want to hear, and they think we're doing all this great work, and really we're not doing shit.
Right.
I mean, that's just what was happening. And maybe I wasn't fooling them. Maybe they knew I wasn't doing shit. I don't know. But, you know, every time after the session, they would be like, such great work. We're doing good things. And, you know, nothing was changing. And finally, I was after my relapse, and, um, God, through a judge, said, "You are not going to anything luxurious. I know who you are. You should be in prison because the crime that you committed carries a minimum sentence of 16 months in state prison. And on top of that, you racked up 19 other charges. And I am going to let you go to treatment, but you're going to go to this one."
Nice.
And
It's a cool judge.
yeah.
Mhm.
And that's where I met and he, you know what, this judge, when he sentenced me, he was sure I was going to prison.
Yeah.
He was like, he sentenced me to state prison,
Mhm.
gave me a suspension, and put me in this thing. 2 years later, when I had to show up one last time in front of his court, he was like so proud and so surprised at the same time.
I love that story.
But
Gets
this is
better.
where I met my therapist.
Okay.
Hey, did you say it gets better?
Mm-hmm.
The
What am I
story.
missing?
Judge Anderson, right?
No, this was the last judge.
Oh.
Judge Anderson was on my podcast, and he was my drug court judge.
How
And
cool is that?
that was
Right?
like remember you said a full circle moment?
Yeah.
Having this guy on my podcast it was for me it's the best podcast besides my daughter that I've been able to do because it shouldn't really be able to be done.
Yeah.
But it also is a testament of what God can do into your life when you surrender and actually work this thing.
That's right.
Because this judge, one, also it shows the beautiful and the compassion and empathy that he has, and like what you would think that your service members would have, a judge or a cop or somebody in that
Yeah.
type of field. He has it because, yes, of course, he's giving him this opportunity, but a lot of people fail at it and then they end up having to go do the time. But to see his like such joy in his eyes of how far somebody that came through his program has come, and then not only has succeeded to that degree, but now is actually advocating and using his voice of of the stuff that he had to go through, including the time where he had to come and sit and and read and sweat like through his
Yeah.
all the things, and like have to read this in front of the judge, and like all these crazy things that go through, drug court. To me, is another indication of like, even if you don't believe in God, even if you don't believe in certain things, it's like you gotta believe in at least something greater than yourself, because this is not supposed to happen. The judge is now sitting out of court on his own time on a whole different playing field in front of the person that he potentially could have went and sent away for a very long time.
His name is up there on that board behind you.
That's awesome.
And
Listen,
and so is a crazy thing, and so is the Orange County Sheriff. And my last I told you I racked up 19 charges. One of them was I was driving a Lamborghini, and they had a warrant out for my arrest, and they went to pull me over, and I was in a meth-induced psychosis, and I just told them
Not today.
not today,
yeah.
not today.
I mean, that's almost worth getting arrested for.
Right?
Yeah. That sounds fun.
was the scariest thing I have ever done in my life
Yeah.
because I didn't want to kill somebody,
Yeah.
any innocent bystanders in the process.
Yeah.
And all you can hear, their sirens when they're chasing you, they're extremely loud.
Okay.
And it sounds like they're right behind you and I wasn't looking really through my rearview mirror because I was just focused.
Gotta get home. Gotta get home.
I got to get away.
Gotta get
My flux capacitor isn't working either because I was in a meth-induced psychosis. So I had a flux capacitor I had put on my car on a Lamborghini.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the flux capacitor is,
I
right?
actually don't.
Back to the future.
Back to the Future.
Oh.
It's not real.
It was the
Doesn't
device that allowed Michael J. Fox in the movie to time travel.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Delusion.
That's awesome.
I came out of a meth-induced psychosis and I'm sane. No, I mean I'm
Were you in a different portal?
yeah.
Okay.
We thought
I-
it was.
I was definitely in a different portal.
So they let you go.
Oh,
They did
no.
not let me go.
No. They
No.
showed up and knocked on his door. Like, what's
Yeah.
up? Because he went home.
They arrested me
Silly man.
and I went to jail.
But it was his time.
So was it intimidating having your drug court judge sitting across from you, or was it?
It was just
Powerful.
it was powerful. It was amazing. He was so proud and so
He was gracious and
gracious.
He was just a really good man, too.
Yeah.
Though. Like,
I mean, he shows up to some of our
Yeah.
Recover Out
Oh,
Loud
yeah.
meetings that we do. We do in-person
Yep.
ones. Her and I host, like we had one Friday night. It was a Halloween party and 300 people everyone from our treatment center plus another 150 people from the community showed
Mhm.
up.
That's awesome.
hmm
Was it fun?
So much fun.
It was our best one.
Okay.
We do them like
Napoleon Dynamite.
yeah, we dressed up as
Mhm.
Napoleon,
That's awesome.
so we had a good time.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just love what you guys are doing out there in Woodland Hills.
Thank you. You should definitely come on by.
Yeah, for
That's-
sure.
It's a great place.
And obviously, it's like, I can't emphasize it enough because it's just so important for individuals to really hear at one point where you thought you were and where you did not know what to do from like up to down to all the way around,
That's right.
of just feeling, I'm assuming you didn't use this word, so I feel bad putting it in, but lost essentially because it's like you're living this duality of a life and it's finally, because the thing is, we all have the same story where it catches up to us.
Absolutely.
Like it might work for a little bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes some of us are better than others for keeping that duality going for quite a bit of time. But eventually it all boils down to the same spot, whether it's getting in trouble with the law or coming to a point where you just can't live anymore. Look at you had no more, your office was gone.
Right.
Poot. See you later.
That's right.
Just a reminder, his office was a car that was
Trans Am.
Mhm.
It was
vanished.
what was it? A Formula?
Yeah, 93.
Oh, okay, but like a
They
Trans
look
Like
like
a Trans Am.
they look just like one.
Yeah.
Am.
93.
Mm-hmm.
And-
1993. He got clean the year Tupac died.
Yes.
Really? 96.
93 and
96.
94 is no 93 and 94 is when my brothers graduated. Tupac died in 96.
96, yeah.
But then look at like
Yeah.
how many years did it take for you in sobriety after to get your license to become a clinician? Like how long did it take for you to go to school, that process?
Well, like I said, I was so blown away by the social workers that helped get
Yep.
me clean at Acton and Claire, and like I wanted that.
Yeah.
And so I already had maybe a year or like 45 credits for junior college.
Sure.
So I went back to that junior college and got the AA
Yep.
and general courses, and then I transferred to U of I, University of Illinois at Chicago, and they have a social work school called Jane Addams. And at the time, they had a bachelor and master's program. My first day as an intern was at it's called Interventions, Cornell Interventions. It's on the south side of Chicago, primarily African Americans. They had a women's program, men's program, detox program, like 7 different programs. I was interning. I was going to do a rotation. I started at the city women's unit, and that was 9/11/2001. So the day I got to the office, the planes hit, and we all
wow.
we all watched 9/11 together, and that was my first day as an intern social worker. and took the next 9 months with these women, and we kind of walked through that trauma, and helped them find hope in watching the TV, a very hopeless, scary situation. That was my bachelor year, and then from there I transferred to University of Michigan School of Social Work. I got my master's,
Mhm.
so that was another 2 years, so 3 solid years of school. So now I'm 26, 27.
Only 3?
Well, because I had the 1 year, I
Yeah.
had a year and a half credit,
Right.
and
Okay.
so it was actually a year and a half for my bachelor's at that point.
Okay.
I guess you're right. It was 2 years.
Basically.
Yeah, it was 2
So
years. Yeah,
2 years for your bachelor and then 2 more, right?
it was 18 months to get the master's.
Oh, 18.
cause
Oh, 18.
Yeah.
so a total of 2 I would say a total of almost 6 years
Uh,
of schooling,
Yeah,
roughly.
5 and a half.
Because like, your intern going
with
into
the
that.
internship.
Yeah.
And then I was interning at like the development center, which is downtown Detroit. So I got to like help that impoverished community.
Yeah.
In my head, and this is God's will versus my will, I really didn't want to professionalize an addiction because it was so close to home.
Sure.
But it's literally the only place I've worked since 2001. Since 9/11,
Yeah.
2001.
That's
Yeah.
him too.
So I got back to Chicago after school in 2003. And at that point, you study for your test. And I think I got my first license in 2003.
Wow.
So I moved out here in 2016 to be closer to my mom, who is now passed, but I wanted to be with her, for her later years, and retested and got my license here. So I'm actually licensed in both states.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then COVID hit and all that nonsense.
Yep.
And but I've been in the field uninterrupted since
Wow.
9/11, 2001.
Incredible.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a gift. It's a beautiful thing. And I've had so many amazing, beautiful experiences like this one, just by being clean and connecting with the power greater than myself. Like this stuff doesn't happen when you're out there using.
No.
No.
Yeah, you don't meet beautiful people like you guys, You meet unsavory characters that just wanna see you go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
this is all a
appreciate
gift.
that compliment.
Of course. You guys are great.
And congratulations.
Yeah.
Like, just it's your story is quite beautiful,
Thank
especially of like what you do for actually a profession and for a living.
Yeah.
Because it is possible, and you're a perfect example of that.
And I think it's important to differentiate between, ethical treatment versus not.
Sure.
And when you find a program that's
Yep.
ethical and like it really is patient centered, like you described,
Yeah.
it makes all the difference.
There's not a I mean, there's a bunch of unsavory characters that seem they used to be right here.
Right off,
And they're
backyard.
they're pretty much all gone now, all the unsavory characters. But you still got some of them up there in LA. I don't know about your area, but other areas of LA, unsavory characters,
Yeah, it's annoying.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It
Right.
really
Yeah.
annoys me.
Yeah. 'Cause
Like
it
you
puts
don't
a
have
bad
to
name on the whole.
you don't
It
have to
does.
you don't have to do all that.
I feel like you could do a whole podcast on that.
I know. That's
mean,
like a whole. I'm like, don't go there, guys.
yeah, that's
It's like it's annoying.
well, it gives people that, spend their lives, dedicate their lives to
Exactly.
helping people through the treatment lens, which is a, money making thing.
Sure.
Like us, it gives us a bad name
Yeah.
because you see people out
Definitely.
there that are forgetting the helping people part, and it's like a disguise to make more money.
Right.
So like
Right.
helping people should be your primary purpose.
Right.
If you are God centered in your treatment center as well, just like you should be God centered in your recovery, the um ability to pay your bills is and that's really all I want. I mean, I live a life beyond anything I feel like I ever deserved. I might deserve it now. Some people say, well, do you deserve it? But I feel like
And also, who? Then you have the
yeah.
who's deserving of what? So it's
Yeah,
like
I
those
mean,
layers go
I'm
forward.
grateful is really what
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that I'm grateful
Yes.
that I didn't get what I deserved back then because I wouldn't have the life that I have today had I gotten what I deserved back then.
Yeah.
So when I say that, it truly just like I'm grateful. And I just want my bills paid. I just want to be able to continue doing what I do on a daily basis because we actually are helping people change their
Yes.
lives. Am I saving people's lives? No. But I am helping them find the tools to do and live better.
And you're keeping the lights on, so they know that you can
100%.
come here and get clean and help, restore not just their lives, but their
Yeah.
families
Yeah.
and future generations, and you're making a huge impact.
Yeah, that ripple effect,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
drop the rock in glass water
You ever
and
read
see
the
how
book?
far that ripple goes.
Yeah. I do want your Lamborghini, I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
The
Yeah.
cops,
I mean, I wouldn't take the Lamborghini. I'll trade it in for something else, but
the
I'll,
cops
I mean,
into
there's
it.
spiritual, and then there's, we gotta have our
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a gone deal.
I never saw it again though
Oh, shit.
after that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pretends that he wants it again, and I was like, bye, no.
I mean, I don't really.
You're
I
at
have
your heyday, buddy.
I have everything I need. I have everything I need, and I have more than I ever wanted.
That's great.
And I just am. But what I want more than anything on a daily basis is to wake up and do this all over again.
Mhm.
And that's something because like I can tell you that there were times when I just wanted to go to sleep and not ever wake up again. And now I want to do this life all over again.
Yeah, it's pretty fortunate that we get to, skip to work and, actually like what we do.
That's
I mean, that's a
that's
gift
the
in
ticket.
itself. Yeah.
I hope that people find that in what they do for a living because I've never, in the 25 years that I've worked in this industry, now I have had a couple of, 3 to
Hiccups.
6 month gaps of not working, and putting, that. But I hope that people can find what I found,
Yeah.
which is my purpose, right? And when your job is your purpose, I don't ever wake up and I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna go to work today."
Doesn't feel like work.
No.
No, this is home.
But that brings us to the point of, a person comes into treatment and they're bankrupt spiritually, mentally,
Yeah.
physically, and economically.
Yeah.
And yes, we give them the tools for sobriety.
Sure.
They can stay clean in a 24-hour period. But, they still walk out of there feeling purposeless. Like
Sure.
they don't have a degree, they don't
Yeah.
have a job, they don't have a career, they don't have a pot to piss in, they have
Mhm.
nowhere to go. And so it's important, even through aftercare, to just kind of hold their hands and guide
it.
them and love them
'Cause it will
unconditionally and
come.
support them. It does come.
It does.
But that's where the hope comes in.
100%.
And that's
Step
that's
two.
what we have to offer them is hope, right?
Yeah.
We have to keep showing them. And I think it's important now that social media in this world has changed so much.
Mm.
I'm a true believer in the 12 traditions as well as the 12 steps, and I love the spirit of anonymity. That's a spiritual principle of our program.
That's right.
But it doesn't mean that I can't sit here. I just like to clear this up with some people in Alcoholics Anonymous that it doesn't mean that I can't sit right here on this microphone on social media and talk about my recovery.
All right, you're preaching recovery, not not
No.
Alcoholics
I'm
Well,
Anonymous.
you're not a
I'm not
member.
preaching I'm not preaching Alcoholics Anonymous.
Mhm.
I'm not putting my membership on the
Right.
line. Um,
You're not a represent
I'm not representing Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous as a whole. I'm just telling you that there is hope.
That's right.
There is hope that a pathetic, you know, uh, loser, um, homeless drug addict can get clean, lose the desire to want to use, and live a life beyond anything that I ever imagined.
Well, there's two of us, and probably you too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we are living proof
Right?
100%.
that recovery is possible.
Recovery is possible.
Yeah.
Dude, it's Ephesians 3:20. He can do exceedingly abundantly above anything that we can ask, think, imagine, as long as the power is work within us. So as long as we're working it and doing it, who
And
knows what we're gonna do.
what does that mean for you, doing it? And
My program is number one because I've done it my way. We're not put the program number one, meaning God is first, and then obviously my program, meaning like doing my prayers, my morning marching orders, checking with my sponsor, making sure I'm hitting meetings, and I always fall short on my meetings because I've always had a hard time with like hitting meetings. But being as diligent as it possibly can with my program, the way that like my sponsorship line does it.
Yeah.
And then everything follows after that.
I'm going to a meeting tonight after
Oh, you're going to
after
NA?
after our meeting. I'm just letting you know there's one available down there if you ever feel like going.
Just putting that on the podcast.
I'm just
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I'm just
So
I'm gonna go
Mm-hmm.
because somebody asked me if I'm gonna be at the meeting who I grew up with,
nice.
and like we don't get clean where I grew up, and he's been he been going at it all the way up until like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And like I just want to show up and let him know that
You can too.
he can too and that he's worth it. So that's why I'm going, cuz like I go for the newcomer. I go for the person that's still struggling, or the person that I don't care. I don't go for the person that has 20 years in the room,
Right.
unless that person with 20 years is thinking about getting loaded.
Right.
I go for them then.
Yeah. And we've all been there, I think.
For sure.
I have stuck the needle in my arm after having 9, and I just want people to know how painful it is.
I can imagine.
Well, I look at our program exactly like where if we have some type of illness, right? Like if we had a cancer, if we had some terminal illness that we have to take vitamins or we have to take a pill for, that is what our program is. Because if you stop taking that pill, and which I have done already, I start to feel irritable, discontent, and my stinking thinking starts getting out of control, and I start making bad decisions, or I react into relationships or whatever it may be, not who I want to be. It's
Mm.
not the person that I want to be whatsoever. And like I'll start making those types of character defect mistakes
Pretty
which-
quickly too.
very quickly.
Mm.
And like it's like I've been there, done that. I'm the type of person that it's like, oh God, how many times do I have to put my hand on the stove before I know that I'm gonna get burned? It's like I know this about myself,
Yeah.
especially with my program. So it's like let's not do that again.
It's hard to get back. It's like when you
Fuck
stop
yeah, it
out
is.
for a couple weeks,
One-
a couple months.
Trust me.
She's
Right.
on that. She's on that train right now.
It's
Oh, my.
Like,
so
I-
hard.
Like I'm like,
workout
she's
feet.
like a workout freak. She's a pro athlete, a
Okay.
pro
And I'm-
athlete, right? And like,
I'm having a hard time.
Me too.
Like really, really hard.
It's
And
been a
it's
month and I can't.
Me too.
I got to get back in.
It's so crazy. I can't
Yeah.
believe it's been like a month. Like a solid, where it's like, wow. I don't think I've been like this. Normally, I have my little spouts of like a couple days.
you
to
did
Yeah.
like
run,
run or something this
Yeah,
weekend,
exactly.
right?
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
But to really, I need to get back into like, I can't
Like
include
consistency. Consistency in the gym is the same thing as
100%.
consistency in our program.
Right.
So
There is one difference.
Okay. Coffee.
I sometimes need to take a day off
Mm.
from the gym. Like
Yeah.
tomorrow's
Sure.
probably my day, because I think I've been going for like 13 days straight, and
Every day.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
You're right.
I can't take a day off from I can,
Yeah.
and I can rest on yesterday's, but it could not be good. Taking a day off from the gym sometimes is the best thing you
Yeah.
And even a month sometimes. Like our body.
Oh yeah, she
mean-
probably
Ew.
needs it.
I don't know what it is, but I'm having a very hard time getting back up on the horse, and I do not get it. And it's bugging me that I'm not.
Obsessed with the gym like you normally are.
Yeah, and it's bugging me that I can't. I know it, and I just it's better for my mental, all the things.
So you have a workout buddy?
I mean, the crew, my
Our whole-
my
our
crew
whole
goes
crew- our
every
whole
morning
crew.
at 6 a.m. So it's like I don't have an excuse not to roll. Like everybody that is in this upstairs office, they're there at
They-
6 a.m. I'm just the lone soldier that is like, and I'm up too.
Emily, you
Same.
coming at 6 a.m.? No? Okay.
Well, they say
But yeah.
morning meeting makers make it.
Yeah.
People
Yes.
that go to 12 steps in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess it's the same way with the gym.
Yeah.
I work out after work and I go to meetings after.
that's
work.
hard.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
I mean, the after work meetings is fine, but I get that.
I
But
feel like even after work meetings is hard too. I used to be when I lived out here, 7 a.m. was my home group meeting.
Nice. I like sleeping in and
Yeah,
staying up
I get
kind of
that.
late.
I mean, it works for
You and
you.
Emily both.
Yeah, Emily's a night owl.
But you guys are going to an NA meeting tonight, is that right?
Well, we have our Recover Out Loud meeting.
I'm going
Slab.
to an NA meeting.
You're going. You invited her. And she,
I was just letting her know there is one.
He's just being a dick because that's what he likes to do.
well, how about we all make a commitment to get to a meeting tonight?
Yeah,
There-
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I can
Okay,
do that.
And I need to get to a meeting.
there you
And
go.
I'm making that commitment to you two.
I love it.
And also publicly. Because sometimes that's what it takes. Like,
Does.
I need to be held accountable
Yeah.
to
For
somebody
sure.
or something.
Yeah.
And
Because
speaking it out loud, it's also like coming out from our brain to words is really important too.
it is.
Speak it into existence.
Locks it in.
Life and death and the power of the tongue.
That's right.
Well,
Right.
David, it was a really good podcast.
Yes, you're amazing.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for coming out
Yeah,
and
nice to meet you.
sharing your experience, strength, and hope with
Mhm.
us. It's good, man.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you
You're
so much
amazing.
for this talk.
And congratulations,
hope.
like you're the shit.
Okay.
You really are.
Well, so are you.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't forget that.
I
shit.
appreciate you.
Well, yeah, you too.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.